What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That's So Dev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. We have some tea to get into. But before we get into the tea today, make sure you go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms at That's So Dev. You know the whole spiel. Anywho, okay, so look, we are discussing hot topics today because I got a lot of things I want to talk about and I am not in the mood to specify shit, right? Let's just have a whole jumbled up tea mess. Like, literally, pause this, go get you a nice hot cup of tea, and have a seat. Okay, so, first on the agenda, I just want to get it out the way because unfortunately, this is yet again a topic. So, um, a certain artist had been put into the hospital because there was an incident. And so this situation has brought up the whole conversation surrounding that person and Miss Meg the Stallion. Now, we all know my personal feelings about her in regards to the music world, right? But let's be for real. That man shot her. That was proven in court. Hello? I mean, people really like to use the whole, and this is not me trying to diminish it because there are real situations where people are after black men, right? that that does exist, but sometimes it's kind of used to manipulate a situation, and this is definitely the case, right? Look, there's a lot of mess in regards to Miss Meg. But one thing a bitch is very, very firm on is my stance in regards to how I view the situation. Because what? Just because I've personally, seen whatever X, Y, and Z in the industry, and so has said this and that and whatever. Like, okay, fine. That's that. But I don't feel like any of that mess or even the Twitter conversations people have about it, I don't think that has to bleed into this situation here. I can separate the two, and you should be able to. Let's just be real here. It doesn't matter if you don't like her or not. That man shot her. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. There isn't anything to really say. I would never want anything like that to happen to any human being, period, in regard to what happened to him. I would never wish that on anybody, right? So take your time, heal up in the hospital, right? Because that's some serious shit. But once you done, you're going back to jail. Hello? No, I know so and so has come out and said X, Y, and Z recently, and you know exactly what I'm talking about if you're familiar with the situation. Otherwise, I'm not really going into detail about it. So, here's the tea. I don't care. There's been a million narratives, blah, blah, blah. X, Y, and Z, right? Like we have the whole spiel of, Megan Thee Stallion going on Good Morning America and saying that she didn't sleep with him when she did sleep with him. And, you know, she obviously talked about that more in context in her documentary. And obviously that was also exposed in some raps as well. And some people, unfortunately didn't see the truth in it because it was masked with their this idea of who they have created. And I just feel like majority of the time when people have this idea of a celebrity, for the most part, they're usually not who you probably think. Just saying. Like, anyway, regardless of any of that shit, I'm firm. I'm very firm in it. And you know what? This week, I don't know, the way that black women just have been treated over this week, it's mad. And then you also, like, between Kamala running for president and everything in between, and the milestones that black women have also been making in the public eye. I mean, you did have a black mermaid. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, black people are really being seen. And also at the same time, with that comes this backlash for kind of just being, you know? And it's super interesting because it could come out of nowhere for no reason at all. It's true. And it's not to say like 100% of the time that's what happens. I mean, we have to be serious. First of all, human error, whatever, right? Okay, so, girl, it's so interesting because, you know, again, your idea of people that you've created, like people have really created this idea that, Chloe is the hard one and Hallie is, you know what I mean? But it's the opposite, you know what I mean? And it's just interesting because someone like Hallie has really never really given you a reason to believe that she would do anything so extreme. And with the situation that we're seeing now on social media, it's interesting, right? I say yet again because I find it fucking interesting how something can happen to her and then she becomes the villain. You see how the theme just kind of repeats? And what's also underneath the surface, right? It's that these black women have went out of their way, have gone out of their way to protect these black men beforehand, before things got to a point to where they're kind of like, you want to know what? I kind of have to just think about me and do what I will with that. And we see it over and over and over. And people just get behind the man. Like, it's interesting. Word of the freaking day. Because what do you mean? You see the situation happen over and over and over again. But, like, I don't know. Like, people just live to be misogynist? I'm trying to understand it. Genuinely. Like, we have to be serious here. I, oh my goodness. What is this? What is going on? I'm sitting here trying to figure it out myself because, look, there's already a lot of shit going on in the world, right? We have an unfit president. I don't give a fuck what you think. This podcast is about me, right? So there's, do whatever. And I don't like to get political, right? And the thing about it is it really does become a point where it actually is impacting your life and people around you. So it's just like, it's not like I'm advocating, you know what I mean? Like, I just specifically remember there was a time where people could be political and still have human decency and love and treat other people with respect, you know? And all of that shit is just out the window. All of it. it doesn't matter if one moves with grace, even if they're unprovoked, like somebody like Taylor Swift who keeps getting the swing from Donald Trump because she didn't endorse him. She didn't send a cease and desist letter when you created an AI promo to get people to try to vote for you. Well, come on now. It's also super crazy to realize how many people around you kind of think like this. I mean, whoa, we were really brought up to treat each other the way that we wanted to be treated. And I saw a tweet that said, one day somebody said that to me and it just makes sense. I don't really know what else to say. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? That shit radicalized me. Like, that is, look, I respect everybody. Everybody, period. Everybody in their own right. Obviously, you have to give respect to get it, but also at the same time, there are people who naturally can just earn respect that, don't necessarily have to be like, oh, you have to earn something. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know, to each its own. And it's interesting because the political climate, first of all, it's a joke, but it's also kind of increasing the intensity, I suppose, is the best way that I can say it. Because it's something every day. And I do remember the first term that this man had. And I remember just waking up most days in a panic, genuinely, because God, I didn't know if World War III was coming the next day or what. But it's really interesting this term because there is a lot more fight. And between then and now, there has been a lot more education, right? So that first term really opening of the door for me to kind of just be like, you gonna know what? Well, that shit not making sense. I'm gonna have to do research, bitch, and really understand what's going on around me because I knew that shit was getting real around 2016. And, you know, that next election, things went well, We were very hopeful. We really took a step forward, a big one. I mean, the first female vice president. Hello? Didn't have to mention skin color at all because she's just the first female vice president. Period. Oh, girl. Walking legend, I tell you. Nobody can ever take that away from her. Mm-mm. That's my girly. Okay. I just also appreciate the joy that she carries no matter where she goes. I don't know what she's going to decide to do this coming election. That is up to her. I care about who is going to be the best candidate. And a lot of people, look, I feel like she was just thrown into the fucking fire. I really do. I feel as though, in a way, Biden set us the fuck up. Dropping out of that election at that time. And Kamala did her job. When the president can't go forward, the vice president steps the fuck in. And that's what she did when the country was on the line. I do not believe anybody else could have beaten him. But I do believe that because Joe was a white man, he probably had more of a chance. Well, that's just the reality of it. So it's interesting coming from now to the election and, just the election exposed a lot, especially about how the country, and we already knew this, right? How the country views black women, how they treat them. We got to see it on a presidential stage for the whole entire world to actually see. Because if you don't think the entire world was watching our election because it was essentially going to shift fates of probably everybody on this fucking country. I mean, on this globe. Like, the shit that they're doing is having real impacts on real people, and it's actually really scary because they're showing up at influencers and social media personalities homes because of free speech. And I don't know if you saw the former FBI director, what he tweeted, right? Now, mind you, this thing was used several times throughout the previous election. There's even merch, girl, tons of it. I mean, this was a regular thing that people were saying. And first of all, I remember working in a restaurant. I was a waiter. We were like, okay, yeah, yeah, 86 cents. Like, you know what I mean? We took it off the menu for the day. It was coming back. Like, you know what I mean? We didn't just take it off the menu forever. Like, it'll be back tomorrow. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just interesting how all of a sudden it is now a problem because they're really backed into a wall because their big bill did not pass and people are on their necks because they're having security leaks. You have people who are trying to round up immigrants looking like reality TV stars while also trying to actually create a reality TV show about supposedly, reportedly, allegedly immigrants earning their American citizenship, bitch. And I, girl, look, it's getting real weird out here. We are seconds away from a Hunger Games, girl. I'm like, I'm like, what is going on? I I know, like, I expected a lot from his presidency, but this is like 30 times more than I expected. And I really truly wasn't naive to what could happen. I knew, but it is still 30 times worse. Because even though he was super extreme, I feel like there was a baseline the first term. Like, this term, he came in with what feels like vengeance on everything and everyone who got in his way and tried to stop him. It's very nasty. It's unbelievable that America could also hold the Pope and also, as Twitter said, the Antichrist. Because a lot of these people are, trying to use the Bible to really kind of demean people. I remember, I think it was that Representative Byron saying that, the Democrats views and what they do really differ from the Bible, but it's also interesting how you could have such a bill, even that your colleagues just voted down, to where you're making record history cuts for Medicaid and food that are going in people's mouth. I mean, cancer research. I mean, unbelievable things that don't even make sense, but it does, right? Because when you see what they're actually doing, when you read these things that they're actually indulging in, you realize something, bitch. You wanna know what that is? They're gonna put some money in their pockets. Them bitches is hungry. They like, no, it's not enough for them. Greedy. Yeah, this is all about money for them, for the billionaires. They want to get richer. You don't hear the president talking about, oh, what about the big businesses? He don't give a fuck about small businesses. He does not. You can fend for yourself, whatever. What about the big guns who will survive regardless? The foundation of this country truly is small business. Girl, don't count them out. It's very nasty. The USA's credit rating just dropped for what, the first time in a century. And hold on, I actually have this photo I just saved because President Trump tweeted 4:37 p.m. December 20th, 2012. You get what you vote for. US credit rating is about to be downgraded once again. So that's actually an issue? Yeah. Interesting. Clock that T, Mr. President. Now, let's come back to this because I actually posted this on Facebook. And again, I don't actually get on Facebook. I just see something on social media and then I bring it over to Facebook because I know majority of the time Facebook doesn't have actually the content that exposes truth. It's a lot of manipulated media, even if it's not political. I see this guy who has based his entire Facebook page off of lies because they know that people on Facebook are going to react to it because they don't know any better. Facebook is not active and live inside the the stan world, the pop culture world. Not really. It's really a relay. It's girl. Anyway, so this yeah, because I cannot believe this. I'm going to this Facebook post right now because it was so interesting to me. They said, look, it was what was her name? Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but at 9:01 a.m., November 21st, 2018, she said, "Hey, at real Donald Trump, being Saudi Arabia's bitch is not America first." Oh, girl, clock that T. I didn't say it. That was her tweet. What's good? There's a tweet for everything. These people have no backbone. They don't know what they stand for. They don't. Bitch. I'm telling you right now, these motherfuckers are spineless because you can find several tweets of even, I think it was Lindsey Graham saying, like, if we nominate President Trump, we will be destroyed and we will deserve it. And look where we are. He's Trump's puppet. Him and Lindsey Graham, they're like those wacky, wavy, waving arm inflatable tube man from. Yep, the bitches is flimsy. They go any way the wind blows. I'm so serious. Uh, well, well, T. It's so funny to me because again I say there's a tweet for everything where you see that these people have had foundational beliefs and views, and at some point they abandoned them for power, and you can't respect it. And you watch TV shows like Scandal and they're obviously dramatized, right? But there's a lot of real world aspect to those. And would it surprise you that some people like that actually exist? Hell no. I, girl, I can guarantee you they have to. And I know they do. I'm watching a lot of these bitches in hearings, and I'm like, wow, you're really like this TV show villain. Like, do you think that they were actually inspired by TV show villains? Like, do you think that Eli Pope from Scandal actually like radicalized some of these people? It's interesting, right? But obviously, we know that his political views, so to speak, didn't align necessarily with these people. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Because Scandal was actually an interesting take with Olivia being behind a Republican president. Obviously, they dipped into some Democratic teas at times, right? Because I truly believe that what the Democratic Party is supposed to stand for aligns with the people. What the Democratic Party is now does not align with the people. It doesn't. Nope, they're completely out of touch. Like I actually think that they're definitely center, but they lean a little to the right, to be honest with you. A lot of them do. And that's why you see a lot of them actually vote in favor for Republican things. Well, I mean, a lot of my friends have theories that these people are in bed together, right? They totally could be. I really don't know. I have no idea. Would it surprise me? Absolutely not. No, because a lot of these people, all they really care about is money and power and their egos. Because why is Lindsey Graham, not Lindsey Graham, but Mitch McConnell, come on, that man is freezing on TV. Why are you still active in the government? Go retire and enjoy your life. Let new people come in. And that's not even it's not even just a Democratic thing, it's a Republican thing, it's all thing. And first of all, I don't agree with the two-party thing. I mean, isn't it funny how all of a sudden it's a two-party? What would you think would happen? What would be the goal of doing two parties instead of several? Huh? A great divide is what it seems like. I don't know. This seems like a thing that has been long in the making. I'm just saying. If you really look at a lot of shit, the seeds have been planted for a very long time. And that's just the fact. And that goes for a lot of things. I'm not specifying, I'm just saying my job is to speak my truth and my experience. Your job is to go do your own research. And that's what a lot of people don't get, especially on Facebook, because I can share the stuff and I can know the information and I could have done my research, right? And I share that knowing what I know. But other people who are reading are like, oh, that's just a headline. But you didn't do the research yourself. So you're saying that's just a headline. Okay, yeah, but I know it's not. So what is your comment actually saying? Go make it make sense. No, please make it make sense. And again, I cannot stand being political. I cannot stand it. But when it becomes a thing where basic human rights is going out the window, constitutional rights are going out the window, serious things are going on. If you paid attention in school, you are a bit worried. Some may have hope, some may not have hope. But girl, I paid attention in school. Look, I may have messed around a little too much or whatever, right? But a girl knew her shit. I did. So you just see, and we know that history repeats itself, right? And again, I see the tweets all the time about this, and I've also wondered this myself. Like, you know, how did these things? How did they allow these things to happen? All of these, traumatic moments from our world's history, right? Like some serious shit went on, and that was the question: how? And it's interesting, word of the day, to see it now. We see, we see how something like that can happen. And what's interesting, bing, 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 to me, bitch, right? It's that, you know, and I say this often, racism was really embedded into the roots of this country. And in order for this country to really move forward, right? It has to dig that up from the seams. And I thought that that was 2016, to be for real. I really did. But I think it was this. Because 2016, I feel like really rallied the racists. But over that time period, it really brought them out. Especially because even after he lost that election after his term, he almost instantly was doing rallies. So he kept up that momentum. You can't act like that's not a good fucking strategy to begin with. Which is why I'm also at the same time happy that some Democrats have also taken that approach. But it's not necessarily one person, it's several people that are doing that and rallying the people and inspiring people because everyone's tired. Everyone's fatigued. We were still fatigued of Trump since he left office. Like, I don't know that the fatigue went away because he didn't. He legitimately was in everybody's face doing rallies all the time, right? So he never went away. And it was so like, it was like, wow, like people are really like that dedicated to the cause. They are like, they really have these perspectives. And sometimes I'm like, do they really believe this? Or is there something behind it that, I don't know, that all this is meant? I don't know. I try to make sense of it. I think we live in an interesting time. I really do. It's one of those times that I think really reminds you what things are about because, you know, through all of the hate that has been going on and the nasty energy that's just all around that has been instilled in society and has been enabled and has shown people that this type of behavior is okay. How you treat people is okay. How you speak to people, like the way that they go about things, it just it has kind of just propped up this energy that people feel that they can just do. I mean, who's really going to stop them, to be honest? But God, like, what fresh role models? I mean, come on. I just have such a hard time believing that. And, it definitely is my perception that people are good, right? But a lot of my friends also believe that people aren't inherently good. And, I don't know. I I want to believe that people are good, and people are, but what we're seeing really shows me that it like brought to life all of these things that I already knew. And again, it goes back to, everything that America has swept under the rug for years and decades. Oh my goodness. All of that has been exposed at the root. All of it. And in order to move forward, I feel like that this is the moment where it it's just do or die, right? But this is kind of just the moment where I feel like America has to choose to overcome. This is the battle of modern day that America has to face. And the repercussions of it are going to suck because it's only May. I mean, we're not even truly halfway through 1 year of his term. So we have a long way to go. I would love to see him impeached. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I really don't. I don't care. Okay? My brother is Republican. You can be on whatever spectrum that you want to be and still have respect for one another and love for one another. But what you can't stand for is what we are seeing. You can't be in the middle of it. You can't not care. And obviously you can, right? But how shitty does that make you? You have all of these people who stand next to Trump. I mean, Charlie Kirk went out to Greenland with Donald Trump Jr. They went on a little mission, right? Charlie Kirk is racist as hell. Hello? So, besides the fact that we've known about Trump's history, especially with black people and his father, T, this isn't new. People just don't care. A lot of people like to think that racism doesn't exist. First of all, people think that I cannot stand a Snow White girly who feels as though they're truly being oppressed. And like, oh my god, you're so racist, huh? Girl, you're facing prejudice. First of all, learn the difference. Because it's not what you think it is. Like girlies want to be oppressed so bad. They do. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. I'm like, it. I don't know. I feel like it just takes so much more energy to be the way these people are. But again, it brings me back to the idea, like, do you actually believe this stuff, or is this something hiding behind it? Because you see somebody like, again, Mitch McConnell, past tweets versus now, JD Vance, past tweets in videos in everything versus now. You constantly see people, even Mark Rubio, whatever his name is, you see his past things and current, like, where he's sitting. Like, it's, at what point did you decide to abandon your core values? It's sickening. Anywho, all I have to say is, first of all, good luck to us, but also it's draining. And I'm going to ask you to do something you probably don't want to do. You're going to get fatigued. You're going to get tired of hearing about it. You don't want to hear about it. You want to click away. You want to fast forward. You want to do whatever, right? You want to just not care, but care anyway. That is my ask. I ask you to care anyway. Because the shit that's going on, erasing black history, oh my God, trying to bury it. Whoa, I could go on and on, but this podcast isn't about politics. It's about hot topics. And this shit is hot as hell. T. But it also brings me back to the whole perspective of how the world views a black woman and how they treat them. I mean, again, like I said, it was on the presidential stage. So between that and the election, and then you seeing this past week where Hallie and Megan the Stallion, you're seeing on a full showcase of how the world treats black women. Yet again, like it has become openly acceptable to disrespect black women, to not believe them in vulnerable moments. That is disgusting. And again, I say I can't stand when people use things such as stand things to have that in itself influence how you view a situation where a black woman was shot. If that man didn't shoot her, why did he call her crying? Hello? The thing about it is, people want to bring up the topic, but they don't want to actually bring up all of the evidence. There was a whole ass trial. People want to bypass that and just hop back on the idea that, oh, she's lying. Cut it out. Nasty business. This industry is definitely something else. I tell you. You know, I have been like, and I don't know if this is just me, but I've been so uninterested in the music industry this year. Like from the standpoint of, I guess, just like a music listener, or just like I'm so not engaged with the content that has been released this year because I just feel like it's been so subpar. Like at best. No shade. And this is no shade at all, right? Because obviously Tate McRae is talented. This has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not fucking with her because of that Morgan Wallen song or whatever. I literally have not streamed her since I found out about that song. Anywho, so Tate McRae has the most streamed song for a female artist this year, right? With Sports Car. And I was like, girl, is this a recession indicator? Nah, but for real, I was just kind of like, I don't know, like that says something to me. And it's not one of the things where, obviously you want to make room for new pop stars. Like, that's no shade to her. But like, I don't feel that Tate McRae is on top of everyone that's out there, right? In regards to those who do get streamed. Because there's some people who don't chart who get hella streams. That was once Tate McRae, a song with 300 something million streams, but not really charting on the Billboard Hot 100 like that or anything. So, yeah, that's quite interesting to me. Word of the day. Ding, ding, ding. It, I just, I don't know. Phineas also tweeted something. He posted something on Instagram. His story, he said, you know, all the releases this week were really kind of like trash. And, like, I didn't instantly disagree with him Because I look, there have been some diamonds in the rough out there, right? He just obviously you can't listen to everybody, right? But he's not listening to everybody. And I get that. I do. Because there are some good releases out there, but they're hidden under all of these songs that are platformed. A lot of those songs take up space where those songs by themselves wouldn't be up there. And also at the same time, that is what a label can do for you. Well, I mean, labels are nasty, but there's a reason people still sign with them anyway. Well, I mean, why else would a label look? RCA, International, we know how that went down, but yet people still sign with them. And then, because here's also the thing too, these labels, they may sign you just to get a tax write off, and then like you're shelved after that. Oh, I, I got this advance and blah 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 blah. Girl, they trying to hit a max for that tax write off. You ain't nothing serious. They don't have to do anything with you after that. Honestly, that's probably why Epic Records gave Fifth Harmony a third album. Well, I'm just saying. No shade, no tea. Actually, little tea. But yeah, girl, one thing I know for sure is that I do recognize that the music industry is not a very nice place. There are a lot of sharks, and you have to know who you are, and you have to have thick skin. I mean, you have to have that in any sense of any part of the entertainment industry because it's not just, the glitz and the glam that comes with it. It's also shit like the comments, the comments, the media, several things. There are a lot of things, pros and cons, right? Right. So it's a super complex thing. And as far as my desires, look, I don't give a fuck about fame. I don't. I'm like, you want to know what? If I can do what I love and make money off of that, yeah, hell yeah, I'd win. I'm just saying, look, that's just my tea though. And I've come across a lot of people who have a lot of potential, but they just don't dream big. And so they just kind of give up, which, you can't make people want to do things, even though, they have potential. I've just taken that energy that I would have had to lend and put it towards myself because it takes a lot to have a brand, keep it consistent, have brand recognition, X, Y, and Z, and A, B, C, and D. It takes a lot. And like playing every role is exhausting. It is. And also the growth because I don't always do everything now. I do have people that I work with. First of all, Pua takes all of my pictures and my videos. You bitches know that. Shout out to her first and foremost. Because T, all the bomb ass quality photos, yeah, she ate those up. I don't know if you can hear, but my dog is going in on that squeaker. Like, she's having the time of her life. And I love that for her. Back to the music industry, right? Because somebody actually said this to me the other day. They were like, I don't know if I can see you with fame. And I was like, you want to know what? Here's the thing that here's my tea. I don't, I want success. And if one day that came to me, fine, right? But I'm not doing anything that I'm doing for it. I'm doing it because I love it, because it's fun. I'm going on a set and filming. I'm going on a set and working behind the scenes, right? I'm going to work 13, 14 hours and I'm going to do it several days. And maybe if I'm working behind the scenes, maybe I might volunteer just because experience, because I love it. I'm not doing it to work on all of these big name production sets, Netflix, Live with Kelly and Martin. The list goes on because of the transformation that I've really had over the last 2 to 3 years, specifically 2 to 3 years, since 2022 for sure. I'm telling y'all, I had this person, and my EP is actually about this person. And I put all this energy into this person, and I realized I wasn't saving any for myself. So the moment that I said chop chop, well, me and my bestie Madison, bitch, we said chop chop. That was that. And all of a sudden, not even just my life, her life started flourishing. Like, you know what I mean? But I think that her life started to flourish a bit more because, first of all, she's just about a year older, right? But she kind of came to this consensus before me. I know she did because I remember us having this conversation. But my dumbass, oh, keep going back. Oh, a bitch has hope that a person can be good because you remember the root thought that I want to believe in is that people are good despite what a bitch is shown, right? Like, despite how people do you, you don't stop you from being good to people. And that's just the tea there. So that's just the, and I get it. You know, there are people who have been done wrong, who are guarded, who have walls up, blah, blah, blah. And, everybody has that. Fine. I'm sure I have some. But I also don't let that get in the way of how I treat people. Like, I don't treat people shitty because of it. I probably, I have a lot of positive things that I do in regard to that. Like, the way that I structure my friendships now, as opposed to maybe about 5 or so years ago, yeah, totally different. In a more healthy way. The way that I go about things generally, it's been a lot of growth. So I'm excited to see that. And I think that where I am now, and especially with getting to be a part of these different streaming services and brands in whatever sort of way, big or small, right? It is a testament to that work. I mean, I look at, I went to several auditions in Kentucky. Like, entertainment has always been my thing. I can literally recite you, and I say this all the time. I can recite the entire first season of Hannah Montana, front to back, especially that first episode. Are you kidding me, girl? I'm just saying, like, acting has naturally just been something that I have done. It's not something that, oh, I just practice it. I do it. Like in real life, bitch. So I've just been perfecting that craft for the longest time, even the music, even the dancing. Even when I got away from music, I was still doing cheerleading. I was still surrounded by music. I was still surrounded by dance, creative outlets. I was still in band. So, while it may not have been, oh, you're recording an EP, or oh, you were on the set of Hacks this week for HBO Max. Interesting. Like, you these things are happening because of the work that I have put in. My goodness. Look, a bitch has put in a lot of work. It Here's a comment that I actually got on YouTube, and I totally agree with them because let's chat about my YouTube channel very quickly. Okay, because the bitch got something to say. The comment said, can we agree that this creator deserves more recognition? And I have been told that on YouTube by several people. I mean, it's interesting how you can be a smaller channel and somebody can say, you're my favorite reactor. Like, bitch, there's a whole app. What do you mean I'm your favorite? Are you serious? I mean, if somebody say that, I'm not saying, are you serious? I believe it. I do. I My subscribers on YouTube, they are fantastic. They really are. I have built a community. In the way that I've structured my YouTube channel, for one, it really, like, brand recognition, like I said, it really has a good spin on it because you have the website, you have my link tree, which I don't use that much, but it's there in case anybody wants to see everything. But so I have the link tree, I have the website, I have the YouTube channel, I have the podcast with the Spotify page, and blah blah blah. And the brand recognition is so consistent to the point to where my outfits correlate with the color of my brand. Again, it's not one of those things where I'm like, oh, I gotta get this to match my brand color. I do this shit in real life. Blue, purple, pink, all of my favorite colors. Those are my favorite colors, girly. And so naturally, I wear them. Naturally, it's what I want my brand to look like. No matter what I do. I mean, if you go on Instagram and you look up hashtag that's so dev, you will see such a colorful, bold, and bright bunch of content. And a lot of people were like, why do you post your reactions on Instagram? Like, you know, long videos don't get viewed on Instagram. They never really have. And I don't post videos on Instagram like for views. The reason I post on Instagram is because of the same reason why somebody asked me why wasn't I putting my podcast on YouTube. I mean, maybe they didn't have any other streaming services. Maybe it was the only way that they could stream internationally. And for some people, that was true. YouTube was the only way that they could really access the podcast. So you never know. I have been posting videos on Instagram since 2019. So there have been people who have been watching those videos for years. So I'm always going to post videos just for the convenience of people who maybe want to watch something. And I always tell people that my Instagrams they're like digital resumes. Well, I would say my personal profile is like a digital resume. But my baking and my media services, like That's So Dev and That's So Sweets. So Sweets by Sowdev, bitch. Baking incoming, by the way. Bakery incoming, I need to say. But, you know, those two are really about capturing the journey. So if you go look at So Sweets and you start from the very first post, you're like, oh my God, honey, what is this? Right? But some people would be like, oh my God, that's so cute. That looks so good. But me, I am a baker. So I am very crucial about what the fuck I do and what the fuck I post. So you just see the journey all across that Instagram. Oh, girl, excuse me. I had to burp. I had to figure out how that was gonna work. Right? Cause I'd be sipping my tea and like, oh my God, I don't want to have a long pause, but who gives a fuck? If you listening by now, you probably already know. Anywho, yeah, I think that when it comes to my brands, that I really want people to be able to see the journey. That was the biggest thing. You can watch old ass videos where a bitch didn't have a haircut. I was like, who knows where. Like, sound quality terrible, video too grainy. Like, the journey, right? I have a whole different YouTube channel. It was not branded as that Sowdev. It wasn't branded at all. And it has a couple of videos. I thought I had way more, but I didn't at all. And I just watch those videos sometimes. I'm like, wow, like that was me before the brand came to life. That was the birth of the brand. That was the moment that this person began to put themselves out there. And I will never take that channel down because I think that's important to keep. Anyhow, I'm excited to see where my brand goes overall, to be honest. I have a lot of things in mind. I have a lot of things that I want to do. And I think that the foundation of it, because the podcast does really cute. It does. But I have places that I want it to go. And what's stalling it in a way to me, what's keeping it from really exceeding where it's at, it's the video. Once I apply the video, and it's one of those things where I already have so many things going on that I have to plan a time for when I'm going to incorporate this into what I'm already doing because I already have to do it. I schedule when I'm going to do YouTube videos and edit. I need that structure because I don't just do YouTube. I do God knows everything else or whatever else. My bitch is busy. And, well, all I can really say is that time. That's all I can say is time. The video podcast will come. They should have been here top of this year. But life be life in. So I need to be in a certain state to start it because I'm doing music right now too. I'm focused on getting this EP out. I have a second EP being planned. We've already got songs that we're choosing from for that right there. It's going to be called Free Fall Summer. I'm very excited about that one. It's going to be more summery and more um fun while this first EP is real, its feelings, and I felt like I had to get those feelings out, and then I could have my fun summary vibe. Yeah, you can do both at the same time, and I kind of did. You know what I mean? With some songs that's on Departed, there's one song that we're thinking about actually adding, and if it does, it kind of changes the vibe, but not in a bad way. But it kind of maybe would give it a little bump. So I would can I'm still on the fence about it, but a lot of people would like me to add that. And I think that it's a good song. It's called Down Bad. And I the song is about being in love with somebody who you can never have. And you just you you're not learning a lesson. I texted my friends. I said, look, basically, I'm saying, girl, get the fuck up to myself. Girl, get up. what is you doing? Be fucking for real. And that just made it so real for me because I was writing songs for the longest time. And it wasn't until I started using real life experience that's when the song started to make sense. But when I started, like, I used a general type of experience in the songs, they felt good. But once I started using specific experiences in these songs, it took it to a different place because I stayed too vague for the song to be too real. It was cute, but then it became good. And that's also a testament to taking my time because I've been planning this EP for about 4 years. Well, honestly, I started thinking of okay, so here's how it went. I had came to Vegas about 2019 and I instantly started thinking about this album. And the theme of the album was called Panic. And essentially it was an album that most of the songs were written in the midst of a panic attack. I've said this several times too. And not all of those songs are necessarily sad songs. Some of them are good. Some of them you're dancing through it. Because the reality of it is, when I have a fucking panic attack, bitch, I do dance through it. Yeah. If I'm having any moments of panic, I am dancing through that bitch. I mean, I'm on the Billboard Music Awards stage. The bundles are ready. Please don't think I'm lying. But, you know, it's really just kind of a testament to, again, the embodiment of entertainment that I have. I'm very excited to see where this music ends up. And I tell people all the time, I don't care. Coming back to it, I'm not chasing no fame. I don't give a fuck. There's no money in the music. Be real. So I just want to create music that I can dance in my room to and dance in the shower and sing. That is literally, and I'm so serious. I mean, because I love music too, right? I eat, sleep, and breathe it. But like, I want to dance to my own music in the showers. I'm so tired of waiting for everybody else's song. Like, I want my own music. Period. I always have. But like, I'm really making it happen now. And it's interesting because I do a quick little demo, and after you do the demo, you take the demo into the studio, and then you begin to bring it to life because the demo is essentially a template in similar to a way of you using a template for a resume, right? Like you do the resume, but you're probably going to get a template because you're probably not going to structure that bitch on your own. Anywho, similar to that, similar to that, I could not get that out, but girl, I tell you, it is a lot to do music. It's a lot to get the music recorded. I mean, look, writing it and getting it to the beat, like that's the fun stuff. I think that recording is also the fun stuff as well. I think it's probably more fun than writing. Writing is fun when it's working. When you can't think of anything, I can't stand that because I don't like to give up on it. And I know you have to step away and come back. And I used to all the time. And people will be like, "Where's the music?" And I think that's why the music is so good to me now. It's because I really took that time. I did not like I would probably walk away from a song for like 2 to 3 months and then come back to that same song. It's true. And I think maybe until about a year ago, that's probably when the songs really started to just be like actually sounding like real songs. It's one thing to make music, but do you sound comfortable in it? Do you feel comfortable in it? You may hear like there is a certain type of delivery that I think gives amateur, and I'm able to spot it because I feel off when I hear it. And when I hear it in the music, I don't mind it because it allows me to go back to that and maybe redo it and explore how I can approach it. So the creative mindset that I totally have in regards to music, it's it's like waiting for some soul producer to be like, okay, let's have a partnership together. And then let's create music and be known for that partnership of music. Kind of like Olivia and Dan or Taylor and what's his name? You know exactly who I'm talking about, who she works with, producer all the time. So I think that people who do that create some serious, genuine music and experimental music often, which I love. So I'm definitely hoping that I come across that, but otherwise I'm gonna be bouncing around from studio to studio with the besties that I know, which is fine. I don't mind it, but you know, it is a lot of work. But yeah, I get to wrap this up speaking about music. How lovely. It's my most favorite thing to hear some music and to feel something. Like, I've heard my music and I've bopped my head, but I've created 3 to 4 songs that I can play and listen to, close my eyes, maybe even smoke my fucking joint, and just zone out and be present in the moment and sway and feel the lyrics the way that I would feel another artist's lyrics if they wrote it for me. That's the best part. So stay tuned. Departed is definitely coming. Um, I have it aimed to come out February 2026 on my birthday, and producer looked at me like, "What? What do you mean you're not getting this out ASAP?" Because the music is good. It really is, and I was terrified to share it with people, but I've shared it with a lot of people, and a lot of people like this music. They do. And, obviously they've only heard demos. So once these songs are really brought to life, I think that everyone who chooses to press play is going to be satisfied. They're going to have a good time with it. Departed the EP. It's on the way. The first song, GTFO. Second song, Lie Like You. Now we're debating because I have a song called AYOI, question mark. And it's a general consensus between everybody, apparently, that that song is it. And I'm really excited for people to hear that song, but I don't want to give it away too soon, which is why I'm like, I don't know. GTFO is definitely an intro into the world of Departed. It really represents the frustration and anger that comes with departing a relationship that was central to your life. So, Departed has a world to it. Each song on the EP processes a different emotion and perspective of once again departing from a relationship that was central to your life. All of those emotions that come with a separation. You really feel that frustration and anger, really, amongst a separation, amongst departing from another. So I wanted people to experience those emotions in the exact way that you would process them. So, and it ends with AYOI, and that song is the most beautiful thing in the world to me. And I can't believe that I made that. I actually can't. I really fuck with all the songs that I made. But that one, I'm like, and I know I'm T. But wow, I really created a good song. I will take being a one-hit wonder. I will. Yep, just give me enough money. Let me buy my house. Let me invest, and you know what I mean? Just keep that money circulating on in, and like come on. Come on. What's good? But it was nice to end this on my music because I have to save the best for last. Anyhow, thank you for tuning in to the That's So Dev podcast, where you stay true and you stay you. That is my slogan. Stay true, stay you. Drink some water, eat some good food, take care of yourself because if you don't, who the hell else will? Oh, and don't forget, follow me on all social media platforms at That's So Dev. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next podcast. Peace.